Some 300 employees of the Teva tablet plant in Jerusalem protested at the entrance to their factory Sunday morning. In the afternoon, they barricaded themselves inside the factory while other employees burned tires outside. The factory is expected to close along with one additional factory, simultaneous to massive layoffs, the Israeli pharmaceutical giant announced on Thursday. Follow ENet News on Facebook and Twitter. Chairman of the Teva Factories Workers Union Itzik Ben-Simon made good on the threat in the afternoon, with employees barricading in the plant. "We're at the beginning of the process and the struggle will continue. We're beginning to barricade," Ben-Simon said. Teva employees barricading inside the factory will also set up a protest tent outside. "We'll let the women and children go at 4 p.m. and barricade until further notice. Only the Prime Minister can get the CEO and senior management out of the factory," the labor union chief said. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did indeed comment on the Teva layoff affair in a cabinet meeting Sunday and said he intended to convene a meeting with the ministers of finance, economy, welfare and environmental protection. Burning tires outside the plant. Photo. Eli Mendelbaum. Netanyahu also asked liquid ministers to not operate or make statements on the matter without first coordinating their stance with the governments. Teva employees demonstrated in Jerusalem in protest of factory closures. Photo. Alex Kolomoisky. At the beginning of the cabinet meeting, Netanyahu said he will be meeting Teva's CEO with the ministers of finance and the economy. "My first goal is to minimize damage to employees, my second is to prevent closure of the Jerusalem factory, and my third to ensure that Teva remains an Israeli company," the Prime Minister said. Earlier Sunday, protesters blocked the capital's Golda Meir Junction and moved to Bugin Road. They then left for the Prime Minister's office and blocked a junction adjacent to it. Demonstrations were also held Sunday in Teva factories in Asod, Kfar Saba, Petah Tikva and Netanya. Lior and Mazi Kalimi both work in the Jerusalem factory and have 2 children. "We've had a difficult Shabbat. 2 salaries gone in an instant. We were thinking about what's to come and why did they do this to us all through Shabbat. We have nowhere else to go," they said. Lior El and Maziar Kalimi both work in the Jerusalem factory and will be fired. Yair Hassan has been working as a Teva stockkeeper for the past 11 years. "I haven't slept a wink the entire Shabbat. I have nowhere else to go. The factory is our home. How can a company like Teva, who built all of its factories around the world on the backs of the Jerusalem factory, close up shop here?" he wondered. "We're asking the Prime Minister and Finance Minister to intercede. These layoffs will become a problem for the entire economy," Hassan predicted. Yair Hassan said the Teva factory was his home. Workers Union Chairman Ben-Simon chose to attack Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat. "He should be here. He shouldn't meet with senior management but be down here with us," he demanded. Barkat did indeed arrive to the protest later, and asked employees to clear the road. Jerusalem Mayor Barkat asked protesters to clear the road. Photo. Alex Kolomoisky. Ben-Simon also begged famed former Teva CEO, the late Eli Hurwitz, for forgiveness. His life's work was destroyed, and he's turning over in his grave. "People of Jerusalem, we apologize for inconveniencing you. Please understand we're dealing with the livelihood of 1,200 families," he appealed. Teva's Workers Union chief said. Former CEO Hurwitz was turning over in his grave. Photo. Shaul Golan. Nissan Ager, a driver stuck in a traffic jam created by the protest, admitted that he did sympathize with the Teva employees' plight. "But why do I have to suffer? It's become a regular thing now. One day it's the disabled, another day it's people who are fired. What's next?" he lamented. Speaking on his plan to barricade in the factory, Ben-Simon stated, "We have a long day and a long struggle ahead of us. We expect answers. If we don't get them, we'll barricade in the plant starting Monday and until we get some answers. We also intend to block central roads and junctions until we get those clear answers. We expect Finance Minister Kalon, Economy Minister Eli Cohen and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to supply us with answers. We're dependent on government decisions. Our plant was shuttered for political reasons," the labor union chief said. Alongside Teva employee protests in Jerusalem and elsewhere, the Histadrut Labor Union Federation declared a 4-hour general strike Sunday in protest of the expected layoffs of 1,700 of the company's employees.